Today, we're taking you through a tragic story about the murder of beloved English and drama teacher Stefanie Scott. A case that forever changed the community of Clayton North High School in Australia. We'll dive deeper into the facts, the aftermath of the tragedy, and how Stefanie's life and the lives of those around her were permanently impacted. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Let's begin. Introduction. Stefanie Scott was a 26-year-old English and drama teacher at Clayton North High School in New South Wales, Australia. She was known as an enthusiastic and inspiring teacher. She had a passion for education and was loved by her students and colleagues. Her enthusiasm and dedication to her craft made her a valued member of the school community. She lived with her parents and two brothers in the city, and her career was promising. No one could have predicted that her life would end in such a tragic way. The disappearance. On April 5, 2015, the day of her disappearance, it was a typical workday for Stefanie. She worked until the end of the afternoon and later left for home. But that evening, she never arrived. This was completely unusual for her, and her family and friends quickly began to worry. Stefanie had made a phone call to her family before she left. After that conversation, no one heard from her again. This led to an immediate search by her family, friends, and the police. The search quickly expanded, and it wasn't long before the media became involved in the case. The discovery. Unfortunately, the search led to the heartbreaking news. A few days later, Stefanie Scott's body was found in a wooded area outside of the city. The location was remote, and it took some time before her identity was confirmed. The discovery was a devastating blow to her family, friends, and everyone who knew her. The community was shocked. The loss of a young, talented teacher seemed incomprehensible, and it plunged the community into deep mourning. The investigation. The police immediately launched an extensive investigation into her death. The investigation quickly uncovered evidence pointing to a crime. The location where Stefanie's body was found, the circumstances of her disappearance, and the clues at the scene all indicated a violent act. What made the investigation particularly shocking was the fact that the perpetrator turned out to be someone known to the school. It was revealed that a janitor from Clayton North High School, who often worked near Stefanie, was involved in her death. This man, a colleague, had developed an increasingly unhealthy view of his relationship with Stefanie over time. This ultimately led to a fatal confrontation. The perpetrator, a janitor at the school, was eventually identified and arrested. It was revealed that he had developed a dangerous obsession with Stefanie, even though she had never had romantic feelings for him. This tragic fact is something that often occurs in cases of obsessive and unrequited love. The man, however, was unable to process his feelings in a healthy way, which ultimately resulted in a terrible act. After his arrest, the perpetrator gave several statements about the events of that day. His statements were used in the trial, and it quickly became clear that he was responsible for Stefanie's death. The trial. The case was followed with great interest, and the trial of the perpetrator was widely discussed in the media. Crimes like this always evoke strong emotions, especially when it involves such a serious offense. The fact that the perpetrator was someone with a job in the school environment, and familiar to many of the students and staff, made the case even more heartbreaking. The perpetrator was ultimately found guilty and received a long prison sentence. The trial showed the devastating impact of his actions on the lives of others, not only on Stefanie's family but also on the community and the school. The aftermath. The loss of Stefanie Scott left deep scars in the community. Her parents, family, friends, and colleagues felt devastated. Her co-workers at the school were also deeply affected. Many students, who had known and respected Stefanie, mourned the loss of their favorite teacher. The impact on the school community was immense, and for many, it was hard to understand that something so horrible could have happened in an environment that was normally seen as safe and familiar. Since then, Stefanie's family has tried to carry on her legacy through various initiatives, including supporting education and raising awareness about the dangers of unhealthy obsessions. The impact on the community. Stefanie Scott's tragic death is a reminder of how fragile life can be and how unexpected events can shake a community. The aftermath of the case led to more openness about mental health, relationship problems, and the need for greater support for people in dangerous situations. In the years following the murder, various programs have been established to support victims of violence and to raise awareness about the signs of unhealthy relationships. The loss of Stefanie Scott serves as a painful reminder of the need to stay vigilant and to pay attention to the mental and emotional well-being of those around us. Conclusion. The murder of Stefanie Scott remains one of the most tragic and shocking events in recent Australian history. The loss of a young woman with so much potential left deep wounds in the hearts of her loved ones and those who knew her. But despite the tragedy, it is important to continue remembering her passion for education and the positive influence she had on the lives of others. Stefanie's story lives on, not only as a reminder of what was lost but also as a warning about the dangers of untreated obsessions and the need to take mental health seriously. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.